They won't tell you directly, but you can feel it. The moment you enter a space, something shifts. The air thickens, conversations slow. People glance at you, then quickly look away. It's not because you've done anything wrong. It's not because you're arrogant or cold. It's because your presence carries a weight, a silent energy that unsettles people who aren't ready for it. You ask questions others avoid. You notice what others ignore. You carry yourself with a quiet gravity that makes small talk feel shallow. And sometimes, without saying a word, you remind people of truths they've spent their entire lives trying to escape. Carl Jung believed that when a person begins integrating their unconscious, the hidden fears, shadows, and repressed desires, they emit a kind of psychological force, not a mystical glow, but a presence, an aura that cannot be faked. And for many, that presence is overwhelming. Today, we'll explore 10 signs that your depth might silently intimidate people, not because you are broken, but because you are real. Sign 1. People say you're too intense. You don't sugarcoat your thoughts. You don't waste words. When you speak, it's with intention. And while you're not trying to dominate, your sincerity lands heavily on those who are used to superficial conversation. To them, your honesty feels sharp. But it isn't aggression, it's clarity. Sign 2. Small talk. Exhausts you. Weather, gossip, shallow updates. They drain you. Not because you dislike people, but because you crave connection that matters. Others sense this and label you serious or quiet. What they don't realize is that your silence isn't emptiness. It's a refusal to waste energy on the trivial. Sign 3. Your gaze feels uncomfortable to some. When you look at people, you don't just glance. You see. You notice the hesitation in their voice, the cracks in their mask. Jung believed that eye contact can awaken the shadow in others. For someone hiding from themselves, your gaze feels like a mirror they'd rather avoid. Sign 4. Strangers tell you their secrets. It happens everywhere. Airports, cafes, waiting rooms. Someone you just met suddenly tells you more than they planned. It's not coincidence. Your presence radiates a kind of safety, an unspoken permission to be real. But sometimes, after opening up, they retreat. They didn't expect to reveal so much. Sign 5. Authority figures. React strongly to you, supervisors, teachers, leaders. They often don't know how to handle you. You don't openly challenge them, but your quiet self-possession communicates, I cannot be easily controlled. Some admire this, others feel threatened. Either way, you disrupt the power dynamic without trying. Sign 6. You notice inauthenticity instantly. Fake laughter, forced confidence, shallow masks. You see through it like glass. You don't call it out, but your silence makes people uneasy. Jung taught that once you integrate your own shadow, you become hypersensitive to the masks of others, and masks rarely survive long around you. Sign 7. You've always felt a little out of place. Even among friends or family, you've carried a quiet sense of difference, like you're walking a path others can't or won't see. Jung called this individuation, the journey of becoming whole. Those who step onto this path often feel loneliness, not because they are flawed, but because few dare to walk beside them. Sign 8. You make people second-guess themselves. Have you ever noticed how others begin to stumble over their words when they speak with you? Or how they start justifying things they normally wouldn't? This isn't because you're intimidating in the traditional sense. It's because your clarity exposes their uncertainty. Your calm presence shines a light on the cracks in their logic. Carl Jung believed that people who carry inner alignment naturally unsettle those still living with contradiction. When you embody truth, those around you can feel their own falsehoods begin to unravel. They second-guess, not because you challenge them outwardly, but because your existence itself forces them to face the question, Am I being authentic, or am I just pretending? Sign 9. You attract both admiration and resistance. Depth has a magnetic quality. Some people will feel drawn to you instantly, sensing a rare honesty in your presence. They open up, they trust, they admire your steadiness. Yet others, faced with the same energy, will react in the opposite way. They may gossip, withdraw, or even project their own insecurities onto you. This polarity is inevitable. Jung taught that the unconscious reacts differently depending on how prepared someone is to face their own shadow. Your presence acts as a catalyst. It brings out the best in some and the worst in others. But both reactions point to the same truth. Your energy cannot be ignored. Sign 10. You carry the weight of solitude. Perhaps the most telling sign of all is the loneliness you sometimes feel. Not the loneliness of being unloved, but the loneliness of being different. Depth often sets you apart from the crowd. Where others chase distraction, you seek meaning. Where others cling to certainty, you explore the unknown. Jung called this the path of individuation, the rare journey toward becoming whole. It is not a crowded path, and so those who walk it must learn to carry solitude as both a burden and a gift. That solitude does not mean you are incomplete. It means you are rare. Why depth intimidates? We live in a world that celebrates performance over authenticity. Loudness is mistaken for confidence, conformity for safety. But when someone like you enters the room, still, grounded, unshaken, the illusion breaks. You don't play the games. You don't chase approval. Your presence asks a silent question. What are you hiding from yourself? And for those not ready, that question feels like a threat. The gift of rare energy, Carl Jung once said, the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. But he also warned that privilege comes with solitude. When you carry truth, you will unsettle those who prefer denial. When you embody depth, you will be misunderstood by those living on the surface. If you recognize yourself in these signs, remember, you are not too much. You are not broken. You are simply real. And while some will retreat from your presence, the right people, the seekers, the awake, the honest, will feel seen, safe, and stronger when you walk into the room. Because your energy is not a threat. It's a lighthouse. Your stillness exposes noise. Your honesty exposes lies. Your very existence reminds others of the truth they avoid. So don't shrink. Don't apologize. Don't water yourself down for the comfort of those unwilling to grow. You were not meant to fit into shallow spaces. You were meant to awaken them. And while the journey may feel lonely, it is the path of the rarest kind of strength. The strength of being fully yourself.